So it's an honor for me to be back at my old elementary school. That's right, I used to sit where you sit. I had Mrs. Taylor as my first grade teacher, so how about that? So it's great to be back here, and they asked me, Dave Chappelle, the GOAT. You know, that's probably what your parents call me. No, not like Billy Goat's Gruff, those motherfuckers. It's the GOAT, stands for greatest of all time, because I tend to agree. Many people are calling me the greatest comedian of all time. So listen to me with the respect that affords me. But Mrs. Taylor, she had two rules for me when I came in today. She said, Dave, just two things. And I said, what? And she said, please don't smoke, and please don't curse in front of the kids. And I said, fuck that, because I'm a comedian, and many people consider me the greatest of all comedians. And as a comedian, if you tell me not to do something, I consider it an obligation that I do it. And I think you should all take that lesson. That's your first lesson for free. Okay, you didn't even have to subscribe to Netflix to get it. When your parents tonight say, Timmy, Jackie, eat your vegetables, you look up at your mom and say, fuck you, bitch. Worry about your own plate. Because you can't let people tell you what to do. That's how they control you. That's how they ruin you. And that's how they turn the world upside down. Now, I do want to talk to you about something that I think you'll all appreciate. Who likes cartoons? We all like cartoons. I don't give a fuck what you say. We all like cartoons. I even like cartoons, and I'm a lot older than you. But there was one particular cartoon that I loved. And it came out when I was an adult. And it was in 1995. And it was called Toy Story. Some of your parents might have seen it in the theater as a kid. And to the Latino kids, some of your grandparents might have seen it as children in the theater. I'm just kidding. I love my Latinos. See. But in this movie, it starred one of a really good actor. A great actor named Tom Hanks. And he did the voice of a character called Woody. And Woody was a cowboy, but he was like the leader of the toys, kind of like the Dave Chappelle of the group. And one day, a new toy arrived, and it was Buzz Lightyear, a toy astronaut. But this motherfucker was out of his mind. He thought he was a real astronaut. And we all know, right? Oh, you still think your toys are... Okay, well, you're stupid. But everybody else is just toys. And these toys were all like, oh no, Buzz thinks he's real. And it was up to Woody, as the leader, the GOAT, the Chappelle, to walk up to Buzz Lightyear and tell him the truth. Because the truth shall set you free. And Buzz was talking like he was an astronaut, all that bullshit. And Woody got in his face, voiced by the great Tom Hanks. Great man, great actor, great voiceover work. And he got in his face and he said, you are a toy. Said it just like that. Got in his face. And Buzz didn't believe him at first. He didn't like the truth. He didn't want the truth. He wanted to believe something else. Until later in the movie, he finally learns, and it breaks his heart. And Woody's not a terrible guy, terrible toy. It made him sad too, to see how sad Buzz was. But eventually, they came together and realized they were toys, and they had a role to do, and they wouldn't keep talking like crazy motherfuckers anymore. So I thought that was an important lesson. But then I see a few decades later, and the world has gone crazy. They're even trying to cancel the GOAT, me. They're coming out with a new movie. It's a remake of a very old cartoon called Pinocchio. And it's a live action. That means no more motherfucking cartoons. It's real people, like you and me. And they're in this movie, and in this movie is Tom Hanks playing Geppetto. He's the inventor of this toy, Pinocchio. And Pinocchio seems nice enough. You know, when he lies, his nose grows. So I think he's an agent in Hollywood now. To all my Jewish kids out there, it's okay. That's just a joke. Don't cancel me. I'd like to see you try, though. A lot tougher people than you have tried to cancel me. So I don't think it'll work if you try. But go ahead. Go ahead and try. You right there, giving me the stink eye. You think, try to cancel me. I don't think it's going to go well for you. Everybody hates this kid? Yeah. But in this remake, Tom Hanks, the voice of truth in Toy Story. He looked that toy right dead in the motherfucking eye and said, "You are a toy." But yet, a few decades later, Tom Hanks is walking around in Pinocchio, letting this toy, the motherfucker has strings. Of course you're a toy. No matter what your song says, I have no strings. Well, what the fuck I see your strings right there with my own eyes. This is what they do. They try to tell you that the truth isn't the truth. It's a dangerous thing. And Pinocchio insists that he is a boy. Now, I don't want to get too technical with you kids, but I'm what's known as a term, a toy exclusionary radical male. I don't think that toys can one day wake up and decide they want to be boys. You are a toy. Remember, that's what Tom Hanks said. But Hollywood hands out big checks, and not everybody has the courage of a Dave Chappelle, the GOAT. Greatest of all time, not like the motherfucking farm animals. I see you doing the math in your head. Not everybody has my courage to stand up and reject the money, to look past the truth. Pinocchio is a toy, no matter what he says. But now we're in the upside down. Even great people like Tom Hanks have bought in. But I'm not going to buy in. And that's what I learned at this school. The truth. That's one of the most important things I learned at this school, is the truth. And learning truth from false. And I think we need to learn that today. And I hope that you and your parents won't watch Pinocchio. It's spreading a horrible message. A horrible message. Let toys be toys. Let boys be boys. Now, I don't think that's a controversial message, but I don't know anymore. But that's my message to you today. So why don't we just go have some juice boxes now and yell at our teacher and tell her to fuck off. But I want to say one other thing. They wanted to name, the sandbox outside, we're probably UP, to be honest. I call it like I see it. Stop crying. They wanted to rename the sandbox the Dave Chappelle Sandbox. It's a great honor. I was prepared to accept it. And then I decided I didn't want to. First of all, it's too close to the monkey bars, which I call CrossFit for Al Qaeda. Now you'll learn about that maybe in middle school or high school, what that means, but basically I want it to stay unnamed. But if they want to give it a name after my generous donation, I'm not going to say how much, $5 million, but it's a lot. It's a lot. It's an amount of money only the GOAT can really give to an elementary school. I want it to be called the Truth in Toys Sandbox. So that anytime you see a boy or a girl walk into the sandbox with a Pinocchio toy, you smack the shit out of that bitch and tell them not in the Truth for Toys sandbox. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for paying attention, except for you. You seem like a piece of shit. But everybody else, thank you. I've been Dave Chappelle. Tell your parents to watch me on Netflix.